Rings, one of the harder accessory or jewelry to pull off, because unlike a watch, a ring doesn't have any function, right? Other than to symbolize maybe, you are rich. But don't worry, in today's video, I'm gonna be letting you in on the top 7 rules to rock those rings like a pro, like a superstar. Stick till the end because I may have a badass bonus tip. I know you love bonus tips, and without further ado, let's begin. Okay, the first rule for wearing rings is to know that since a ring is worn on the finger, a very prominent place, any ring that you wear will get noticed. People will judge. Because not many people wear rings, right? So it sends a message, good or bad. That is why it is better to have a why, to have a meaning behind the ring that you wear, as opposed to, you know, I'm just wearing it for fun. And of course you could, but it is better to have some significance, right? Some story behind the ring. For example, a signet ring which represents your family, or most commonly, a wedding ring, which means you, my friend, is a lucky man. I hope. Now you might have noticed that I'm always wearing this silver ring in most of my older videos. It was actually passed on from my grandmother to my mother and eventually to me 5 or 6 years ago, and I have been wearing it ever since. Nowadays I occasionally switch to a steel ring because I almost lost this ring quite a few times and I don't want to lose it, but I still want to wear a ring, so anyways, on to rule number 2, and that is, since we know the ring sends a message, we gotta know what does it mean to wear a ring on each finger. Okay, quick fire. Thumb ring signifies wealth. Normally people will wear bigger rings on the thumbs, and when you wear a ring on your thumb, it's gonna be the most noticeable and it's gonna be the most flashy. Next up, index finger stands for power and control. Most family rings and signet rings are worn on this finger. Next up, the middle finger. No, I'm not gonna point it, but it stands for balance, because it is in the middle. Next, the ring finger. Everybody knows what it means. It means that you are married. Typically, in most part of the world, it is worn on the left hand. And nowadays, a lot of people love to wear a ring on their right ring finger just for fun. Lastly, the pinky finger. Traditionally, it signifies an affiliation to an organization or a profession, sometimes even a mafia gang, but nowadays I would say it's mainly just for fashion. Let's talk about my ring, right? I love to wear my ring on my index finger. I guess I just want to have more control. I don't know. It just feels good on the index finger. If you're only wearing one ring, then I'll definitely recommend wearing it on your index finger or on your middle finger, or unless you're married, on your ring finger. Thumb or pinky just feels a little bit weird. And if you're wearing 2 rings, then the index finger and the ring finger is a pretty good combination. Keep it balanced. Okay, on to rule number 3, and that is, how many rings should a man wear? The answer is, you don't have to wear any rings if you don't wanna. Only wear rings if you wanna. Generally, to be safe, I would say for the both of your hands, 1 ring, it is pretty good enough. 2 rings if you're feeling creative. 3 rings, you are a little bit pushing it. 4 rings or more, you are really starting to look like a tryhard. My recommendation is, if you want to wear rings, start out by just wearing 1 simple ring. Get used to wearing a ring first, then slowly add more if you wanna. I know that you are eager. You might think that you wanna pull off that rock star, superstar, celebrity look with that multiple rings piling on your hands. But for the most of us, when we really wear it in real life, it's gonna look tacky and try hard as heck. On to rule number 4. It is all about the size of the ring. When it comes to rings, you also gotta take note of the proportion. Typically, smaller hands, smaller rings, bigger hands, bigger rings. Generally, you don't want to wear something that is too thin. It will just make your hand look like they're abusing the ring. Anything thicker than 4 millimeters, it is good to go. On to rule number 5, it is all about the balance. When you are wearing multiple rings, try not to only wear it on one hand, right? What I like to do is to just balance them out. But typically I just wear 1 ring, and if I wear my watch on my left hand, I would typically not wear any more accessories on my left hand. I will wear my ring on my right hand instead. This way, it's gonna be more balanced. On to rule number 6, and that is to match the metals. If you are wearing multiple rings, make sure they are of the same color. Mixing and matching different colors just doesn't look good. And of course, same goes when you're matching your watch. On to rule number 7, and that is you gotta know the occasion. The more rings you wear, the more casual and rebellious your overall appearance is gonna look. The most formal is of course no rings, so if you are working in a conservative office environment, probably not a good idea to wear a bunch of different rings and accessories. But if you are in a more casual and more chillax setting, then you can pretty much wear as many rings as you want. But of course, when it comes to accessories, you don't want to be too over the top, right? So remember, when it comes to accessories, less is more. Okay, last but not least, the bonus rule, and that is, you gotta wear your ring with confidence. When you start wearing rings, you gotta commit. Do not be like you wear a ring but you are afraid of other people looking at your ring, so you try to hide your ring, you try to cover it. You gotta be okay and comfortable when other people look at your ring. So you gotta embrace it, right? You gotta wear it with confidence. I know exactly how it feels like when you first put on your ring. It feels a little bit weird. You will constantly feel it on your hand. And be conscious if anybody is looking at your ring. That is why I like to say to only start by wearing just one simple ring. Start wearing it casually, right? Like around your friends. And after a while, you just forget about it. And you won't even feel like there is a ring on your finger. And that, my friend, is it for today's video. Smash that thumbs up button to let me know, yo, Evan, that is a pretty dope video, man. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you haven't done so already. Have a great day, y'all, and I'll see every single one of you in my next video. Bam!